Jason Bourassa. I go by BrickFair Underworld. This is my underwater mock that I built. I built it about a year. I finished it about a year ago, and it was just to be under the sea. I've used some plates here. I've suspended them with the netting to give it that feel of water. I wanted to do something with motion, so it was built around this interior part where there's a shark. He'll come around here soon. And he rolls in here. We've got swirly fish. Did that because, divers, every time you see a picture of divers, you see this swirl of fish. So I wanted to do something that imitated that in Lego. There's the shark chasing the little...
You got a guy trying to make an escape there.
Yeah, he's a little bit faster than the shark. Then we've got Atlantis. So we've got...
Is that like Aquaman underneath there?
Aquaman, yes. We got Aquaman. He's sitting on the throne, and his little Atlanteans are coming. Somebody's coming to give him a message. Here you got Ariel and her grotto, her little knickknacks and Duma thingies, and then Ursula's down here. She's, mixing up some potions. King Titan's over here making sure everything stays okay. The pirate ship that I built, scratch built, kind of using some of the Lego's instructions, and then did my own thing with it. And then lots of coral pieces. Over here, I wanted to kind of bring it all the way up so that there was a top to it. I used 3 different color blue here to kind of give it that depth. And
it's that nice subtle color change. Your eye doesn't realize it, but it kind of creates the scene.
Yes.
So this area here, I like this. It's kind of built up more with the rock area. You've got a nice school of fish. What other elements are in there?
So I used some hair pieces here, the blue hair pieces to give it the like coral effect. I used these off the Monster minifigure series, their heads, to give kind of like plant life. Made some umbrella
jellyfish type of things?
Yes. And so we got the Kraken right here. He's trying to break free, and they're trying to get him back in the cage. And then we've got our little skull there. It's lit up. I don't know if you can see inside there. Yeah. We've got some anglerfish hidden in here. Another school of fish down here. This was kind of the first one I did to kind of give it that flex, school-looking appearance. But yeah, just a lot of different parts used for this.
I think this is the most heavily armored dolphin I've ever seen in a build.
So there was a gentleman over there who made some attack dolphins, and he's like, "Hey, can I throw an attack dolphin in here?" And I was like, "Absolutely." Who doesn't? Why wouldn't Aquaman want an attack dolphin nearby, right?
You got to have that defense. And then I also noticed is it the hairbrush pieces back there?
Oh yes, yeah. So I used the hairbrush for coral here. And the whole thing's UV sensitive, so when lit up with UV light, it really pops. The coral pops, that coral color pops. And so I used a lot of it and tried to space it out so it didn't all one area.
And I love, not only do you have this whole underwater scene, but even the lighthouse scene there has funny stuff going on.
Oh yeah, we've got the beach bum with his little hermit crabs. We got a crab that built himself a sandcastle, and then he's taking down the don't swim because there's sharks. And then here we've got Emmett. He's kind of lost his oar, and the sharks are circling. They're making their way up. They know where lunch is about to be.
So with all of these little details on the build, when you set this up at a show, how does that work?
Really, this comes off. The fish, the whale shark comes off the water. The top stuff gets leveled, and then everything is crated up. It's one solid move. So I didn't have to, luckily I didn't have a whole lot of things that came off of it, so.
You've got such an incredible variety of underwater sea creatures here that Lego's made. So are some of these from newer sets, some from older, or where have you picked these up from?
So I've got some of the older sharks here, the without the eye print, the older swordfish, the older stingray here. And then these are the newer hammerheads, the newer printed sharks here. I think this one's out of the Aqua Zone. I don't remember where the white one came from, but yeah, I've kind of intermixed here. This one's from the hidden side. He's got the little eye thing, and then I've got the great white, shark there. I think there's only 2 or 3 missing.
There's also a little cave down here with some stuff hidden in it.
Yeah, so you got an anglerfish, and you got some little treasure here, and you got a knight. He's hiding right up in here, and there's a cave on the other side as well that has treasure, and it's got a knight, zombie knight in there too.
I love that. Well, this is such a fantastic build with so many wonderful details. I also want you can talk about this build next to it real quick as well because it fits very well with the scene.
Okay, so Disney made Moana, and they made Moana, and Lego made Moana sets, but nobody made the crab. Nobody made Tamatoa. So I took, and I decided I was going to have to make Tamatoa. So I got me the Maui and Moana, the boat set, and I decided I was going to build this crab. And the hardest part about it was, how do I support the legs? So I'm going to pick it up. And so I use these to support it because that body is pretty heavy. And then I just got it on a little base there so that way it'll sit. And the legs move, and of course he had to have his broken off leg because Maui took off one of his legs. But yeah, that was inspiration for that, and I like to do the things for the kids to notice, and they go, "Oh, that's cool."
Yeah. One thing that's cool about this build is you used a couple of colors, the purple and the gold, that aren't super common. So was it difficult to find some of those pieces?
So I have a few Bricklink sellers that I go to. They're my go-to people. I'm like, "Hey, what do you got in this?" And they're like, "Oh, here's what I've got. I've got this in sets. I'll break it up for you. I'll send it, and then I'll order it, and they send it to me." And but yeah, that's kind of how I got the gold. I got from one of the vendors that is here. To help finish off that, to help finish that off.
Very cool. And then finally, I wanted to shout out to you've got an Aquaman Tensegrity build down here as well that fits with this.
So yeah, in COVID there was the whole challenge online of everybody's building Tensegrity, and so this has kind of become my thing as underwater. And so I said, okay, well let's take this underwater and let's do something with Tensegrity. And so I had enough trans blue brick that I just threw it together, and that was it.
Yeah. Perfect. Well, thanks for bringing all this out to the show here. Great work, and look forward to seeing more in the future.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.